And then I thought, well, he'll be behind me again there, he's waiting for me to come back out. So I went in, picked the gas tank, drank him out, got started. I just got my paperwork out. I'm not gonna get ready now. So I pulled out, and he followed me clear out through to just one more. It must have been my plate.
Yes.
You ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Everyone had a chance to read the minutes and the financial report?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes and finances.
The motion has been made, has been seconded. All in favor? Aye. Public comment?
Give you an update on Veterans Memorial.
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah, you can.
All right.
Well, that's an excellent committee
That's the
report,
next one,
so.
okay, nobody else. Yeah, we made over $400 with our fundraiser, so that helped pay for our small game too, so that's a little extra. So, we're planning another one for the fall, it'll be another Go Safe Flag and everything. We need to get some more little things done down there, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
As they come up. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the order committee reports, so, I think. It's up to you there, Mr. Mayor.
I've got a couple of things. So, the school being out, I'm just asking the residents, please watch out for kids out on the streets, like with bikes. I know they're generally in school around, mid-afternoon, but with school being out, just keep an eye open for, kids on bikes. And if you see a ball go out on the road, please, for the love of God, stop, because it's falling right behind that ball is some kid. They don't look, they just dart out. So that's just one big thing I wanted to bring up. I was going to say, the owners of the side-by-sides, thank you for staying off the dike. That's really appreciated by the council and by DEP and the Army Corps of Engineers. It was a nice turnout for the car show. Fire company has 2 or 3 fire police that graduated, and the chief would like me to swear them in probably by next council meeting. And Amber, if you can make a certificate up, print one out, I'll send you. I found one.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. That way, and the chief can have one, and they can have one.
Okay.
And he wants like to be for me.
Okay.
So Tom, with the blighted property, where are we standing with that since you're the ordinance enforcement officer?
Well, there's been a citation taken to last.
What's that?
There's been a citation taken to last. And
Okay.
there's also been another letter sent to what other residents.
Okay.
No, I did have something else to add to that. So I did a little bit of research with people with high grass.
Mm-hmm.
We can cut the grass, I guess we can cut.
And then charge them?
Yeah, and then I think if I understood it correctly, no, I think we probably should talk to our solicitor about it. But once it hits $1,000, we can put a lien on the property.
Okay.
So
I didn't know about that, but I know we could charge them if we.
yeah, we can pay Davey to do it, the borough workers, the way I understand it, and then whatever rate we were, and not there. We can set them out for whatever we want. I don't know.
We probably have to do a resolution for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to do a resolution.
So I mean, we could do that,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
so.
Because obviously people ain't getting the message.
Yeah, I know, well, that's why I was asking her, I should have got something back from last time now, I'm surprised I haven't, but maybe I can call them tomorrow and see.
Okay. Yeah, I know at the magistrate's office, they have traffic court and criminal court, like
Yeah.
different days of the week, there's traffic court and criminal.
So that's why I asked her if I thought maybe they might have sent it here. Last time it went to my personal record, which is fine, but I didn't know maybe if they sent it here because it has to be,
Correct. And, someone stopped me on the road, at the dollar store. Apparently there's squatters up in Victoria Township. So if, apparently, I don't know the whole story, but if there's squatters up there, I'm worried about them moving to like Coldport, and I don't want them here in our borough. So we gotta keep an eye out, because once you get them in, it's hard as heck to get them out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
The Cary Township over here.
I don't know, someone stopped me down at the dollar store, and they said, hey, I guess there's squatters up there, so if they're coming around, we just gotta keep an eye out around here. Because I know last year there was someone underneath the bridge,
Yeah,
I put a run to, but that's borough property over there, and I said, hey, you can't be here. So,
And that house over by, I know it's a little gas station, there was, when that house went for taxes, the guy that bought it went in there, and there was a guy living in there that no one knew, he lived there for 2 years.
Who knows?
Moreno's old house.
Oh, yeah.
He just bought it, he's, bought the lights, threw them out, and then they let him, they knocked the house down and hauled it all out.
wow,
But I mean, it's easy enough done, if there's an abandoned house,
yeah.
advise people, if there's someone not supposed to be there,
Right.
let someone know.
yes, exactly, because I don't want them here in the
You don't
borough.
wanna take them up residency in a apartment
No.
if they don't know.
And then, Mark, this one's for you, since you're the EMA. Can you get with IMA and make sure that all the hydrants are purged and get with the fire company so they have a printout?
So I can answer that for them, they do have them all, they're purging for a week, I think,
Okay.
and they have a spreadsheet over there that they can give to whoever.
Yeah, fire chief wants a copy of that way they have it on record.
Yeah.
The only reason that came up is because fire chief stopped me last month, wanted to make sure that they were all done, because BCIMA was doing theirs. And if there's a house fire and they go to tap into a hydrant and it's not working, we're worried about the homeowners suing the fire company and then coming back and suing us and then them suing IMA. So just want to make sure all the hydrants are working.
I don't know if you want to let them know too, that hydrant, Rosebush is back online now, they got it repaired.
Somebody told you.
And the levee inspection is on the 25th. So make sure you have your evacuation plan all up to date. It's run, this year's the Army Corps of Engineers, last year's was DEP. So make sure, if I'm not there and you have to walk with them, just make sure you have your vest on, yellow vest that I gave you. You say you're gonna try to make it?
I'm gonna try and
Make sure you have like a yellow shirt on, because I don't want to get dinged for that, because I know Davey and then you guys have your vest on. I mean, you guys don't have vests, you have the shirts and all that. I noticed that they did cut it yesterday. They're working on it.
Do we provide them shirts?
Yes,
Okay.
Why do you have to put on
Sure.
because it's just safety, and you're walking with them, because I know DEP and Army Corps of Engineers, they always have their on. Plus if something happens that way, you can see it.
if you fall in the creek, you can pick the water downstream, I guess.
That ain't him waving, that's that guy in that orange shirt. He's in the green one.
That's all I got.
PA one call will give you shirts if you need.
No.
Well,
They give me one every time I go to the seminar, so.
I don't know if you want to reach out to our solicitor and see what we have to do to do that with the high grass and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think we should pass that if we can.
Pass it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
If we wanna have an executive before.
Yeah, because there's
We can
property.
set a rate.
I think we either straighten it up or it comes ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's, you know,
Well, that's
there's,
the same thing with the sidewalks. It's the homeowner's property to take care of the sidewalks. And if they don't, we have to do it, then we build them for the sidewalks. It's in the borough code. So,
you know, my grandma used to always work on me about making sure that the sidewalk was shoveled off and there's snow on the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah. Give 24 hours when the storm ends.
Get out there and get that sidewalk shoveled off, that's our responsibility. But anyhow, there's properties around that banks own, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So we, you know, I know we've tried to reach out to other people before, but I think we should do
I agree. That's a good point, Tom.
If we can legally put a lien on the property for, you know, doing property maintenance.
The way I understand it, you can. But we'd have to pass a resolution.
No, we want to have a special meeting for the next meeting, and iron out the details and figure out, what rate we want to charge.
And have the attorney look up the laws and everything else, and then we
Yeah,
put that into an ordinance and resolution, and then that way we can enforce it then.
That sounds good to me.
That's it for me.
Okay. Any correspondence?
I just told my worker we need weed whack my frontage.
You want old business? Okay.
More
We're
grass.
really moving along tonight. New business.
All right.
A letter here that needs to be signed for the project for the Ibcm.
What does the project consist of? The proposed project consists of the construction of a new activated sludge sewage treatment plant utilizing sequencing batch reactor process and other related apparatuses, including pumping facilities, ultraviolet disinfecting facilities. The new plant will be constructed southeast of the existing plant, and the proposed construction will disturb 2.3 acres. Once the new treatment plant is completed, all defunct equipment and tankage will be removed, demolished, and the site will be restored as an open space. The existing buildings on site will remain and continue to be used by the authority as office and storage space. We ask that you review the enclosed information as it relates to land use and zoning, and please complete the enclosed form as indicated, and return a signed copy to our office at your earliest convenience.
What's that cost?
What?
What's that cost? How much is that gonna cost? Is that,
I don't know.
I'm just curious. Yeah, I was gonna say, that's gonna be, I'm thinking about
Glasses. And what is the date today? Oh, there's the one.
Yeah.
I already know the building.
Yeah. Anybody else want to look at the map? Okay, and then the next one, this is the proposed plans for the Irvona EMS. If anybody wants to look at it, where it's gonna be located at,
We'll go take off with what we do.
yeah. So I mean, if anybody wants to look at it.
Their access is gonna be on the side street.
Yeah.
That's probably better than on the
Well,
one.
we've got some issues. But they've already got, you had signed the plans already. They're gonna raise it up. I think it's 18 or 24 inches. When they do that, they have to put drainage all around it so they don't flood the neighbors out. That is going to be piped into the storm drain going down that's collapsing. On top of that, you've got a 50 by 75 foot building that all the roof water is going into that drain. And a hard rain, that's a lot of water. And we're gonna have to get with PennDOT and get this straightened out, or we're gonna have one heck of a mess.
Didn't you talk to that one nice one from PennDOT? He said it is their responsibility.
He said curb to curb is theirs.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have.
He said he remember them running, they fixed their rental squid or hammer down through there
And
before.
then they lost the camera.
Yeah, something along those lines. He said he was working there helping
Yeah,
build.
we are gonna get with Dallas and do something here. They need to get on the ball and fix what's theirs.
And,
It's not
We
ours.
need somebody to pressure them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dallas or whoever.
And on top of that, it's also gonna dump into the drain that goes out White Street. So, I don't know what that drain's like.
Well, drain was at White Street. That's gonna be, it's probably gonna, it should follow alongside of the state route more than it's gonna go back toward up that way.
Agreed, but they're gonna dump it in right there at the corner of where the building, where their building will be, and Harry Spade's. So I don't, like I said, I don't know what that drain's like
So
there.
it's going in our drain and then pipe over to PennDOT.
It's gonna be going in both sides, both. They're gonna go into PennDOT's on this side, and they're, on the other side of the building, it's going into ours. Plus all the water that usually laid in there is going to be, I guess, I don't know if it's French drained or what, but it's gonna be drained into.
So here's what I think we should do, is I think we should have a special meeting. That way we can get this all stuff covered up, because you have people saying this, people saying this. Amber, get a hold of Dallas, ask him to have us come, if he can make it for a special meeting where we can just sit there, explain everything to him. That way
Look
you
down and
can,
show him what's
Right.
going on down there.
that way you can explain to him what's going on. Maintenance can explain what's going on, and we can explain. Because us sitting here relying on one person to tell him something, I'd rather have him here come physically. We all can say something, and you, like you said, take him and show him,
Yeah.
and then have him pressure instead of having Amber just call and say, hey Dallas, that way he's here with all of us, and we can go out on a field
Yeah,
trip and
that's
show.
probably a really good idea.
And on the same note, if, I can't remember the gentleman's name from PennDOT.
Sean Rosti?
Yes,
I think
if he can come up
I
too,
think he
Mhm.
should.
Yeah, Sean, yeah, I think he's
and that way,
Because that way we can put this to bed, because we've been fighting with this for years.
Yeah.
Let's just put it to bed now
We would
before.
deplete our budget completely for the year if
Mhm.
we had to fix that.
Didn't we already meet with Dallas once over there?
yes,
We talked about it.
Oh, I thought he'd come when we talked to him.
yeah, we did.
That was last year.
It was probably a year ago.
And it's just been an ongoing
This
thing.
time, instead of talking about it, we just need
Because if they're building
to
this,
disrespect them, but we don't tell them to really.
hey, well, if they're building this building,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, we're gonna get our hands caught in the cookie jar and stuff's gonna start building
Plus, you
up.
got a restaurant right there.
Correct. So let's just put it to bed, let's just do that.
So there'd be 3 businesses right there on the
Effective.
farm, the funeral home, the restaurant, and the EMS.
Maybe talk to Ronnie Dixon or Ronnie
And,
Dimmick.
And bring the businesses here too.
Yeah.
and Bobby's haircut. So, 4 businesses right there.
Yep, let's zip it in the butt, plain and simple.
This street that goes up through, I don't know what the name of it is.
Rose.
Rose Street. Is that a state route?
Yes,
So it's got a right of way of 60 feet,
that I don't know.
so it wouldn't be curb to curb, it would have some, their easement right would be 60 feet.
The train would be further.
It'd be further than curb to curb.
Depending if it's a primary or secondary.
That's true too.
That's what you would have to find out.
Well, I know
That's
what,
probably secondary PennDOT.
I think, but I don't know that.
That may be a primary.
what,
Primary road without that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's something we need to look into before the next meeting and try to get a meeting
Yeah.
before the next meeting.
So Amber, try to make that happen, get a hold of Dallas and then set a date up and bring the businesses in.
Is there any days that don't work for you guys? Because like it will be an evening.
Right, I would like to have it preferably by next week or the week after.
Okay.
The next 2 weekends, Friday and Sunday, they won't be around. This weekend, yes.
Next Thursday and Friday, I can.
But, 2 mini vacations.
So is everybody good for a Tuesday?
On Tuesday?
Yeah, let's do it for a Tuesday. You're not gonna get it next week because today's
Right.
tomorrow's already Friday, so
That would be the 17th.
the 17th or the week, following week. Yeah, not this Tuesday come because that's too short of
Right.
notice. Okay.
7, okay?
Yep, 7 fine.
Yep. The next thing is the 2 blighted properties. You texted me about the one down on Lake Street.
Yeah,
I did not send him out a letter, let her, only because we sent him out one not too long ago, and he never cleaned up. And we did put down on the letter if it wasn't cleaned up in so many days, and we take further action.
Mhm.
So,
well, I think like you and I talked, we don't want to try to use the judge to be the enforcer.
Right.
okay,
So Tom and I talked the other day. It's we want to try to see. We want the courts to see that we're trying to handle it on our own, because what I think the court is going to do is the court's going to be like, okay, so what are you guys doing on the behalf of the borough?
right,
How are you guys trying to enforce this before it comes to me?
okay,
So
Well, if we type it up as like, you know, this is your last one.
final.
Correct.
Final one.
Yeah, make it more.
And just make sure that it's all clear.
Yes, I always have copies, because there's the other one up on beside Brenda Yingling, beside her property.
Is it,
They don't live there anymore.
Is it- oh, they don't live there anymore?
No, they don't, but they did come and pick up stuff, she said yesterday or the day before, but still never cleaned up a bunch of stuff. And she said with her having a daycare and stuff,
right.
right beside there, she's worried about rats
Right.
and snakes and stuff.
That house was foreclosed on, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
So
But it
we
was-
just got to come down more harder on people because we have to. No more of these bug taps. We just got to get more strict with people.
Okay, so.
Do you agree, Tom?
Yeah, do you have an address to send them a letter or no?
I don't have their new resident, but I can probably Google it and figure it out.
Well, you could contact the post office
Yep.
and see if there's a forwarding address.
Okay.
And just send it to their new address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll go that route.
okay.
Or a tax assessment office, that's gonna tell you who owns the property, if they're renting or rent down, whoever owns the property.
I wouldn't know, but, yeah, I don't know.
You can go back to whoever owns the property, if they don't own it, they just moved, I mean, someone owns it, or it could be a bank, has the lien on it.
Well, I know that's what, the one down there across from you guys, it's originally on there,
Usually a paper trail somewhere.
Exactly. We'll find you.
One more thing on new business. And I did some checking into things with, whenever I found out about how all the drainage is going. They have moved our flood zone. It's now clean up to Hunter Alley. Part of the reason is the pond. It needs to be dredged. So we need to look at getting that. I looked in to see if there was any way of getting money to do that through the EMA, if not.
That'd be a good question for Dallas,
But, I mean,
because they've dredged that in the past.
the last time it was done
You mean like a grant?
was about 20 years ago. And Deals come up and cleaned it out.
I'm sure we have records on how we went about that process.
Yeah.
You could see the find those and we could see if there was a grant or, was a government,
Yeah, I don't.
something out there, an agency that helps you with that.
Yeah, like I said, everything I checked into, they said that's part of your flood protection, so it's kind of.
That could even be part of your Army Corps of Engineers.
Exactly.
They built it. That's what I was just gonna say.
That or the Fish and Boat Commission, because I know they dredge the lakes and everything else. Maybe the Fish and Boat Commission can, Amber, steer us somewhere to know.
Yeah.
Or that's touching their level.
Well, they're coming next month, so
That's-
Mark can ask them next month.
That's connected to theirs, that's watered over.
So there you go, Mark, they're coming next month, you can ask them.
Yeah, the gate's right in
It's the
there.
levy.
Do you have a sponsorship agreement with the flood control? Or is it still owned by the entity that created it?
It's our bonus.
It's Irvona's.
It
Well,
was,
what they have done in the past, from my knowledge, they will give you a grant for dredging one time. The next time, you have to pay for it. If you don't believe me, call the Irvona Borough. They had a grant to dredge the river, because I worked on it years ago. And now they have a problem because they have to either dredge it or put some veins, you can stick veins out into the river to make pressure, hydraulics. So,
It'll cut away on its own.
right,
it's sort of like what's happening to the.
What borough is that?
Yes.
What borough is that, Jerry?
Phillipsburg.
Look into that too. Call them and see.
But they have the problem right now. I talked to some of their officials and they have to pay for the dredging or it has to be remediated some way because it all filled right back in again.
Yeah, it's so low lying right through Phillipsburg, and everything just lays there, going up rapid water and wash it out.
And I'm gonna tell you something now. Every year that I've walked with DEP and that's one of the big questions they ask is about dredging that. So can you look into that, Amber, before they come so we have the
They're
answers?
gonna have a hard time dredging that creek because once you get to the end of down towards the end, there is a sandstone slate shift across the creek. The water only runs across for about this deep and it's one solid piece of sandstone the whole width of the creek for about 150 yards. That would be a major, major undertaking. Anyone that's ever canoed or kayaked or inner tubed down the creek, when water's low, you have to get up and walk that section because you're not gonna float through it.
I went to seminars on this, these veins that you stick out into water, you can get huge stones, or you can put those barriers out into the water. But the hydraulics that were forcing the water, it's like putting your thumb on the end of a hose. If you restrict it, you have more pressure. So that's what, and
Yeah, all the sticks and the leaves and the sediment and silt and everything out of there.
yeah, instead of dredging it, you would save yourself in the future.
It's nature going on its own.
That's correct. Thank you.
Anything else?
I just had a question. Been here a little over a year, I was wondering what the chances of getting some more money. I'm at 1350 now, I'm thinking 1450 before.
Put that on the agenda for an executive.
Well, we're gonna have an executive anyway. Yeah, we'll do that before next meeting, right? Yep.
We're working on the levy, everybody's seeing progress.
So I saw you out there yesterday, you were taking adequate breaks with it getting hot, correct?
I paced myself.
Okay. But I've been watching, because I've seen you've been out there by yourself, and I'm like, I'm just keeping an eye on you, because I don't want you passing out, you know, but
Yeah.
you are letting people know where you're at on the levee and everything, right?
I'm
Okay.
actually, my wife checked on that.
Okay. Okay. Because you don't know if you're gonna get into a bee's nest or
Right.
whatever, and,
Yeah.
okay.
oh, and possibly we need to put out either on the Facebook page, whatever. No burning tires in town.
That's already in the ordinance.
I know, but we just had an incident.
Day of the car show, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't the day of the car show.
Well, who called that?
It
And
was Sunday at 6 o'clock. It was Sunday at
Was
6.
it?
Yes.
okay. And then we also have an individual that just seems to, it's supposed to be 6 o'clock to burn your paper and stuff.
Mhm.
They just burn anytime they feel like it.
He's the guy to talk to.
And there's been a few people approach me. I said I would bring it up. And it's the same person.
Tom, can you look into that?
Yeah.
Anybody burns tires, go down, videotape it, and take pictures and send it to the magistrate's office. If we have an ordinance on it, can't burn tires anymore.
I'm sure we do, don't we, Amber?
Yeah.
Is it in that one you give me?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Bruce, will you adjourn?
Motion made to adjourn. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, you're welcome, Jerry. Yeah. I'll give that to you next week. About how long, maybe we'll not make sure I can see.
Sure.
Careful, watch the boys night.
What's a camera? Demolition at it.
I'm going home to watch game 2, Texas and Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah.
I had a gentleman who was gonna pull it out of there, but.
See you guys. I see it's collapsing upon itself.
Yeah.
That's what happens. The roof starts leaking, it's the first
Oh,
thing.
she left already.
Here?
Yeah.
That motor home I bought off Robbie, the radiator blew out of it.